Good morning, everyone. It is time for the 9 o'clock meeting of the September 23rd Electoral Board meeting, which is being called to order. We have a quorum, all three members, and the registrar are here. Brief announcements from the registrar who needs to get back to her office. Just a lot of work to do.
Okay, everything is going well. Absentee voting opened on Monday, the early absentee, and everything's open on Friday. I'm sorry. Today's only Tuesday. Okay, we've had 2 days, Friday and Monday, of the early absentee voting, and that has gone well. We were over 500 each day, so we're up to 1,072 in-person voting. And we have mailed out over 7,500 absentees and emails. So we're right on schedule and everything seems to be moving right along there. We have our Janelle, who's the chief deputy. She is actually in a training thing right now, so she is not able to be here, but she's on board and working hard. And we have a full office today and we're moving right along. That's all I really have.
Would you like to entertain questions if there are any?
Sure.
Public.
Sure.
I wondered, item 7, I'll call it C, log forms. Should we take up that item while Debbie's in the room? Because you said that
I think
Debbie.
that's a great time to take it. The log forms that you requested for the gold oath and for the confirmation of identity.
The gold form that's used, the log oath, that is for if someone does not have their ballot with them. They've been mailed a ballot and they lost it, didn't come, whatever the reason is, they don't have the ballot. So in order for them to get a ballot and vote in person at the early voting place, we have them fill out a gold form. The issue that we have run into, and there have been quite a few of them, people, I don't know how, whether it came across in the news, how they got it, but they think that they should have had their ballot in their hand by the 19th of September. However, code says that we have mailed or emailed those ballots at that time. So they haven't received them yet. They should be getting them this week, and depending on how far away they go, they should be getting them this week, end of this week, beginning of next week. So they have plenty of time to vote those. However, their understanding was they hadn't gotten their ballot, so they came to vote. So therefore, they had to use that gold form. We do get questioned all the time how many people have actually used that gold form, because there is another ballot out there and we have to keep count of all our ballots and to make sure that everything cross-references. Obviously, if that person tried to vote their ballot they received at home and mail it in, it would not count. They have already been marked as voting in person. However, this is an accounting to make sure that everybody understands that there's nothing very, it's just a form that we need in order to have those numbers. And if I get called by one of the parties or by somebody who's running a campaign and saying, how many people do you have that are voting that have, received their ballot but came in and said they didn't get it? Again, it's a check, if ballots get lost in the mail, people don't. So we need that. And I know it's a little extra work for the people that are working in the CAP, but I really would like those numbers because those forms get put into an envelope and I don't want to be searching through forms and trying to figure out how many voted each day. If I have that log, I can say we had 10 this day. And I think those numbers will go down because people will start getting their absentee ballots and they'll realize that they have it in hand. But in order for us to keep track of that, and I can tell you that political parties and candidates, that's it. They've got that in their head and they know that that's going on. So they want to know those numbers. So to me, when they call, I can say, yes, we've had this many. And then we can account for everything. So that's why that's important to us to have.
Lucky you have this data.
I raised the question because it was raised to us by someone working at early voting. I understand the rationale for the gold oath form. What about for the ID form?
Okay, how many have we had? So,
Don't know.
I should have checked into that.
Maybe half a dozen, maybe.
I mean, they don't require the intervention of the chief. They can be happening at each individual check-in spot.
I think in our in-person absentee, they're actually sending them over to the chief. I could be wrong, but I think that's what they were doing for ID.
And again, it is a question that gets asked from the state level, or from, frankly, from candidates and political parties. So having that number, I want to see how that form, I want to see how much we're getting with that. Basically, I need a number of those for every day. So maybe we can do a total of numbers, and they don't have to fill.
We stuck in.
Count the forms, that may be adequate. We know that those were two things that have been questioned at the state level and have been questioned by political parties. So we were just, in order to cover our backs with that. It may be the numbers, and if we see the numbers are, 2 here and 1 here, whatever, as long as I have those numbers of how many people are filling that form out.
The chiefs that question, why are we having to do this extra paperwork? Partly because we've never done it before here. And it is extra paperwork for them. Can I offer a kind of a compromise? I don't see why the address of the person on either form, for the purpose of the log, needs to be there. What if they just record the name?
That's fine, except for, the address does identify who they are. You could have Tom Smith, and there might be 10 Tom Smiths in that precinct. I just think it is an identifying thing. Rather than ask them for the last 4 of their social, we need to identify that, and it may not occur very often, but there are father, son, just to make sure we are attributing it to the right person. Did that absentee ballot get mailed to Junior, and it was actually Senior who came in to vote and said he didn't, so it just identifies that person. I just need something more than just a name to identify the person. So.
But are the parties or anybody asking the names?
No, but the numbers. Well, right, but in order for me to take that list and make sure that those ballots, because there are live ballots out there for those names, and to make sure we have accountability for all of those. Because if you have one and you have a name, and then another person by that name actually votes a ballot and it got put wrong into the poll book, somebody checked in the wrong person. It's just, to me, to write down a quick address is not asking them too much. I think I need something to identify them with. If they'd rather do the last 4 of the social, that seems to upset people more. So I think that I need some identifying for me to be able to count in my bookkeeping in there with my ballots.
And by having a log, you have a ready record
Have
of the
it
number.
right. I don't have to go searching through, forms. And again, that's the reason for on the goldenrod one, because those are the ones we seem to be getting. And you will all along. There'll be people that their ballot didn't arrive. It came and their husband put it somewhere and they did. You get that. And so to me, I don't feel like asking them to write down the name and address is a big job for them to do. I think that's a very simple thing. I am not comfortable with just a name, because just a name doesn't, and sometimes people will say, Sally so-and-so. Well, that's not their real name. So, I kind of have to have some other identifier. Last 4, you want to do that, or address, but something to identify, something for me to be able to identify that. Now on the confirmations, I can see where that is not a necessary item. And again, it may be we only need to know numbers on that. I want to see, we thought we'd try it out for a little bit and see what the numbers are. If the numbers aren't there, then we'll just say, I have this many. They're in an envelope. I can go through and check them. But goldenrod seems to be.
But by having the logs for both of those, if someone comes in on election day, you've got the logs. It's a lot easier for you in your office, because the poll book will be marked that they voted.
The poll book is going to be marked, and I have no way of verifying that. But if I have that list, I'm able to troubleshoot, you know, I mean, they could be in the wrong precinct and they've moved and they want to do the SDR and we just want to be able to hold accountability on our ballots.
Thank you.
Well, let's monitor how many
Yes, ma'am.
confirmations of
Question,
identity.
Jim, there's a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Diane McNeil, I understand what you said about the gold oath form and the log form. Could you explain more about the ID?
Okay, that is when a person comes in and does not have an ID with them. They do not have an ID to show.
Oh.
So they receive a form that they have to fill out and say, I am who I say I am, and they attest to that,
It's just a simple sheet,
a
not
real
even a
simple-
whole sheet of paper. It's a half sheet.
No,
There's no ID, that's all you have to
Like
have.
if they say, I left my ID at home, you know. or-
no, I got it. I just didn't understand what you meant.
Sometimes it's also called statement of identity.
I mean, they're on the poll book, so we know they've registered. You know, they are on the poll books too, in order to get them.
Well, let's monitor the confirmation of identity.
Right, I
There's not
agree.
many,
And I'm fine with that. That should not be that many. I'm not as concerned with the numbers on that as I am with the goldenrod. Because, you know, there are localities that will send them that say, we're not gonna give you a ballot till you turn in that other ballot. I mean, we're not gonna let you vote till you turn in that other ballot. There are localities that do that. Smaller localities can, because they can send the person home to go. But, you know, here, again, that's been your custom to do the goldenrod form and let them vote. So I'm following what you've done there. However, I want a little more accountability to it.
Bucky, you have anything?
I'll just voice my general concern with adding paper to a process unless it has value.
And I think she gave us value. She's the one
Maybe
that,
for one, possibly for the other. But I
And
haven't
again,
ever
I
heard
have
of
to
a
see.
request in this area, so it's something that's completely foreign to me. And obviously a need that was not met this way in the past. So I'd like to get a report back on how many requests that you get,
I will.
so that we can
I have
answer
not
that question
checked
at the
them.
end of this process.
And then you all can assess it and see where you go from there on.
anything else you'd like to tell us now, registrar's office? Or you get back to your work that you're trying to do?
I mean, it's moving right along. We're right up to date on everything to be mailed out. We actually have the postage meter up and running. And
Somebody found the code.
was no code.
Janelle,
Janelle has used that one in the past
same machine.
and she was familiar with it and we got it going.
You just
We-
do this, you do this, you do
Right,
this, then it works.
we've loaded the one I've used in Waynesboro, you have to put your code in every time, but actually, we've already loaded our postage onto it, so we have the correct amount of postage and we will,
Yes, we're all
going forward.
code driven, that we just assume there's.
Everything, yeah, I think if I don't have a password or code, I can't get it, but no, so that's up and running, and so we're able to take care of those on a daily basis. We will be pushing out our absentees that get mailed from ES&S probably twice a week. We'll see what our volume is, but you know, it will go definitely twice a week. We did send one on Monday.
And that's within the letter of the law to do it twice a week?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, some places do it every day. It depends on your volume, but you pay for it. So generally, our size unit, according to Tyler, or our size locality, we're in the 2 to 3. Because as long as you're within code, which says when you receive that ballot, you have 3 days to mail it out. So we'll always be in code. If something comes in and it's been there, we can always mail from our office too.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Alrighty.
Okay, do we have any other announcements from the board?
Kind of slid past the.
We slid right by the agenda. Do I hear a motion to approve the agenda as it's
Well, I
written?
think there's some things that are coming off. the
No,
agenda.
do we, that's why I'm asking.
The
Do
new
we,
business items that involve Alan.
Alex is currently in the in-person absentee.
Yes.
He may come in later if he gets here. Is that your
He told
question?
me he would not be here on these until Friday. So,
I talked to him and we said the same thing, but he may slip in late.
I just asked him, do we have new EO application to approve? And he said, hold that till Friday. I didn't realize we had other things on the agenda for him.
That's it.
Thank you. So we have approval of the agenda as we have just quasi amended it. Are there any other announcements that anyone would like to make?
Ask from the public.
That's number 4. We were doing number 3.
Okay.
There any public comments from anyone either in the remote area? Please raise your hand on the Zoom. Click participate. No comments, no questions. Lady and gentleman in the room?
Nothing.
Any other questions? And you have a gold oath shirt on, because that's exactly the color of goldenrod. Jim, would you like to present your minutes from the 8th? Oh, Rick, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Unmute.
There you
Am I
go.
on now? Okay.
You're on.
What do you think the deadline date might be for any new EO applicants to be able to be considered for this election? I'm sure it's getting up really close.
We don't have a number date as in Monday, October the whatever. What we have said in the past, and we haven't actually discussed it, is that as long as someone can be approved and come to officer of election training, and we all know that there's a makeup training the last Saturday before, we prefer people come to regular training because it's a little bit more intense. But as long as someone can be trained, educated, come to the class,
And have filled out their paper.
and they have to complete all of their paperwork, yes.
But I mean, you will have the assignments already done probably before training, or those won't be done until after training?
We hope to get our assignments done by the end of this week
Okay.
and include everyone who has been approved in that possible assignment. We will not need as many total numbers as we had for the presidential. So there may be some moving around.
But
Okay.
new
But-
officers may be assigned even after these assignments are done this week. We'll find some people who just aren't going to be available.
Okay. And fill them in. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions, comments? If we talk about something, please raise your hand. And we'll recognize you when we get to your subject. Jim, would you like to?
Did
the
you all
minutes.
have time to look at the minutes?
I did.
I have not looked at 2 minutes from yesterday. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well,
So would you entertain a friendly motion to wait and do those at our next
Sure.
meeting? Thank you.
and I sent out three versions because
I saw that.
seeing things that
Really only looked at the last one.
And I looked at the first one and then saw the others. Okay. Old business voting system security letter. I think, Bucky, you have something. You've gotten the codes from Tyler, sent you all of the IDs for all of the machines.
I have a draft, security plan we can discuss in closed session.
Okay.
So I think we're moving much closer to being done with that.
Okay, thank you. The ADA inspections and certificates for the polling places. I have made contact, as they say, with a lovely lady named Tiffany Morris at the school system. And I have also spoken with somebody from the county, people who look at ADA, and hopefully that will be completed by today, but certainly by Friday.
what will be completed.
The scheduling for the ADA.
Are these,
And then I've got assignments for the board members divided by threes. If you have a school, the school is going to give us information, so we don't have to go to each one of the schools.
and Tiffany's the person not in the schools.
She's with the schools.
Did you get a hold of the person that's?
They're calling me back. They're kind of hard to find. So they're going to call. I've spoken to them, Jim. They're just trying to get their stuff together. So hopefully today or tomorrow. And we'll have a schedule ready or a list of places each of us can go. I've tried to divide them by where we live, so I'm kind of the east side. Jim, you're the kind of the south, and Bucky, you're kind of the north. That will, it'll get ironed out.
Are you, just
Go ahead.
tiny point, Yancey School was a school, now it's a community center.
Yep.
So are we considering
It's not a
it to come
school
under, school?
It's not a school anymore.
School.
because they've done changes. They've made physical changes down there. Next business is new business. And we're gonna have to wait for, this is part of Alex to assign and figure out when we're gonna do the cage, help him to load the cages, which is gonna be an additional responsibility for the board. Most of the materials are in the cages, but we need to go through each of the boxes and make sure that they're full, that they've got all the things that we've done in the past.
Do we want to see if Alex is free enough to come up for a few minutes?
I think we can leave him where he is and do this on Friday, because it's going to happen between now and Friday. So he's taking care of in-person absentee voting. Other items from anyone?
I had a question for our esteemed council, mostly because I don't want you to feel like coming here was a waste of your time, but I understand that we need to keep printed copies of our minutes ad infinitum. Is it possible to scan those, destroy the originals, and keep the scanned
As
document?
an electronic record,
Yeah.
yes.
So it'll take a lot less room
Yeah.
that way. We just found records the other day back from when Jim was the registrar, so they go back a bit.
Right.
Former millennium?
There are some people who like, I know Bucky is not, because Bucky is all things electronic, but there's some people who like having the written word on paper. So I would not suggest, with all due respect, they don't take up that much room. We can put them down in the warehouse in a box.
I just wanted to know what the law requires.
I understand.
I'm not launching a plan to go scan everything.
Thank you.
Look, is a retention schedule that's mandated by the Virginia Library.
I've got a copy of that.
Sure, yeah, I can look and see how long you're required, because you might not even be required to hold them
It
for.
is viewed on the question of board minutes. It discusses lots of other election materials, but I think board minutes come out of public body minutes,
Yeah.
which is covered elsewhere.
Yeah, I'll take a look and get back to
I
you.
think it's in perpetuity.
Is
I think it is. I would agree with Jim. Everything I've ever heard at any statewide meeting or electoral state board meeting, it's been kept forever.
I mean, I've found minutes from back in 1945.
Yeah.
Still around.
Beaver's only 50 years old, so we've only had board meetings for 50 years. And some,
One thing, you're posting those minutes, right?
Yes,
yes,
Without my signature, because it doesn't post right.
well, it's not accessible to people who need some kind of on-screen reader if it doesn't have all the text
But
detail
then
in it.
I need to
You need a
sign
signed
this,
version. for
and
the
I
minute.
don't, and we may be behind on that.
you were signing something the other day. You were signing minutes the other day. Maybe it's been a week.
Yeah, I'm on the loop with the minute book. I'm just posting them online.
Yeah, I'll try to look at the minute book.
Okay, anybody have any other? Okay. Next meeting, we have a meeting already scheduled for Friday of this week. And we have 2 other meetings scheduled after that. Is it the pleasure of the board to schedule another just in case, since our learned counsel is here? With the understanding that it's easier to cancel than it is to create.
What other 2 meetings do we have scheduled?
I thought we had 2 meetings,
We have a regular October meeting.
regular
scheduled,
October 2nd.
I don't have anything else, so,
And then we've got the post-election meeting
Yeah.
scheduled.
well,
So
we're going to have a work session on the training.
work sessions, work session is different. We're talking
We
about
still need a meeting for the.
a meeting. Yeah.
Still need to post the work.
Yes.
So I would suggest that we go ahead. Since we've got an October meeting, I would suggest we schedule another meeting before the October meeting, just in case.
October meeting slated for October the 9th.
For the night, yeah, I'm looking at the calendar, I can see. We do not have anything scheduled the week before that,
Do you want to?
and I think maybe
Friday the
the
second and Thursday the second?
I would suggest that. I think that's a good time. If we cancel it, we cancel it, but it's there.
You may meet on Thursday the 2nd. I will not be present.
Oh, that's right. Okay, okay, all right, not Thursday. How about Wednesday? How about Wednesday the 1st? Are you available?
I'm not available that week.
You're not available that week at all.
Yes.
That's why there's nothing scheduled. Will you be available on the 30th of September? Or is it the whole week that you're gone, Bucky?
That week.
That
next-
whole
next
week.
week.
Okay,
I-
okay, so we won't have a meeting that week.
And when is our first training? October 7th or something?
I think so. I don't have the schedule.
Yes, chief and assistant
Yep.
training is the 7th.
So I think we need to have a meeting before. So can we squeeze one in on the 6th? That's a Monday. Monday at 1 o'clock.
And do all the. Go over the training deck for the chiefs? That meeting?
Well, Bucky's gone
Sure.
next week, so we can't do it next week. So
I know, I'm saying on
So-
the 6th, do we want to do the training
Yes.
deck for the chiefs?
we can have a regular electoral board meeting and then continue that into a work session.
But you would rather do it in the afternoon?
I've got scheduled stuff that morning, yes. So I can be available at 1 o'clock.
Works for me.
Okay. So our additional meeting now is October the 6th, Monday at 1 o'clock. Everybody okay with that? Okay. And we will go over all the training scheduling, et cetera, Friday, because Alex will be able to be here then. If there is nothing else, I move that we go into. Yes, sir.
One
Go ahead.
question,
Yes,
is there
sir.
a meeting later this week,
Yes.
Friday?
Friday, and that was like at 8:30 or something?
Mhm.
That's
Yes, sir.
So
correct.
that has not changed?
No, sir, that has
Okay.
not changed. We're having a lot of meetings.
Yeah.
So it's
I-
hard to
I-
keep up. It's hard to keep up.
The bulk of the next meeting will be in closed session.
Oh, well, so it may be
Yeah, you may,
worthless thing. Okay.
Yeah. unless you just want to come in and say.
I just want to come and say hi.
Okay, I would like to entertain that we move into closed session.
Okay, back real quickly, the meeting on the 9th is going at 9 AM. We didn't.
As far as I know,
Time on
I think it's 9 o'clock.
Hang on, that's the regular meeting?
Yep.
Those are all slated for 9:30. So it's posted
It's
on the
been
internet.
slated for 9:30, yeah. It's already posted on the internet.
We have posted on the internet that all the regular meetings are at 9:30. We can change that.
Let's keep one at 9:30.
8:30, 9:30, we're just showing our flexibility.
Just confuse everybody so nobody knows when we're starting.
Exactly.
Okay, executive session, I move that according to the code section 2.23711.a. Code of Virginia subsection A, to discuss and consider the appropriate items, voting security plan, personnel matters, officer of election assignments, and review of registrar applications.
So it will be the same motion that we have been using.
Yes, sir.
But we need to add in voting security.
Yes, sir.
And I think we might be dropping officer
We may,
assignments unless
but
Alex.
we may want to have some comments, so
We can leave it into.
Okay,
all in favor, say aye.
aye.
We're out into executive session. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
We're in progress.
Okay. The callback time is now 11:49 a.m. The electoral board is back in open session, compliant with code section 2.2-3711A. of the Code of Virginia, we are back in open session. The board members certify that they only discuss those things which they said they would discuss on in and nothing else.
Aye.
Thank you very much. Do we have anything else, gentlemen, that we need to discuss before we adjourn?
So you're gonna, excuse me, make those changes on the,
Yes,
and so we can sign it next meeting.
It'll
assuming I've got the express vote data there
Express
too,
vote.
yeah.
Colin.
Or we can sign it as come in the building or something. Or we don't have to have a meeting to sign it.
Sign it Friday. Doesn't matter when we sign it, as long as we sign it.
Which would then mean I think we're in a position to sign the letter.
The letter being,
The letter the state gives you a template for that says
Exactly.
you've done this and you have these things. Please don't tell us what they are.
Exactly.
so we don't have to send the security plan.
No, they don't want to see
They
it.
don't want to see it. They just want us to sign that we've done it.
Okay. I move we adjourn.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Thank you, gentlemen. Hard to have this much fun on Tuesday.